Hey guys, we're back in the shock treatment workshop today and we're going to look at lowering motorcycles. Now there are two common methods. The first and probably the most common method is by using lowering links. Now there's a better way, a much better way, and that's by putting a travel limiting spacer inside the shock absorber. Now when a shock absorber fully extends, what happens is this top out plate hits against the top out bumper, and that controls the length of the shock. Now, if we want to lower a bike, we can put a travel limiting spacer in there and it will basically top out early and reduce the length of that shock, therefore lowering the bike. That is a very safe method. And the reason I prefer to do this is because this shock will now bottom out in exactly the same location as the manufacturer intended. Now, anyone that's been around motorcycles for a while, particularly dirt bikes, will see that it's quite common to get a little scuff on the underside of the guard under a full bottom out situation. And so because of that, we realise that we really don't want to put that wheel any closer to the guard than what we have to. Now, by putting a lowering link in there, what you're actually going to do is you are straight away going to bring that wheel closer to the rear guard. And now in a full bottom out situation, you can actually slam that wheel into the underside of the guard. What we've done here is, with this bike has a lowering link in it, and we've disassembled the shock absorber, we've taken the spring off it, and we've taken the bottom out bumper off it. Now, the bottom out bumper will virtually compress to nothing on a major hit. And so if we see what happens here with this lowering link, basically the rear wheel will slam into the underside of the guard. And if I fully compress this, we can have a look and we'll see that we've got over 10 millimeters of shock shaft left to travel. So it's very easy now to drive that rear wheel straight into the underside of the motorcycle, potentially locking it up and causing a serious accident. Not something that we want. And so for us here at Shock Troop, we will not touch any motorcycle with a lowering link in it. We're going to pull this link out and we're going to throw it to the shit house. If you're going to do something, do it properly. So if you want to lower a bike, what we do is we get you in here. We'll basically get you on the bike, set the correct spring pressure or sag, because that will determine the quality of the ride. And then what we do is we put spacers under your feet until you're comfortable, and then we can lower it to that height. And so you end up with something that works a lot better, is a lot more versatile, and certainly a lot safer. Lowering links, want nothing to do with them. Okay, so we've seen what happens with the linkage in the bike, and there'll be those people that say, oh, well, hey, you didn't have a bump rubber in there, that wouldn't have happened with the bump rubber. Well, guess what? Not all bikes have bump rubbers. These things are made out of foam or like closed cell polyurethane, and basically what happens is they degrade over time, even fall off completely. So worst case scenario, your bike could have no bump rubber in there, and this is going to happen each and every time. Now, just for your information, we'll actually test these bump rubbers, and we started off with a KYB bump rubber, and one of the guys said, but people say, oh, that's an old bump rubber. So we thought, let's go out and get a brand new one. And we put a brand new one in and we tested that. And then someone said, yeah, but it was a Husky that we were testing in, so we should test a WP bump rubber. And so I thought, okay, and this is the problem with the internet. You're going to get all these people, even when faced with accurate information, will still try and debunk your test. Well, guess what? I haven't seen anybody else out there testing, so this is something you can do yourself if you wish to do it. There's no tricks being pulled. And what we've done here is we've got an aluminium rod which is going to keep the bump rubber completely aligned. I've modified our fork spring tester so it acts like a shock absorber. And we're going to put it in our spring tester now and see what we actually come up with. Now, our spring tester goes way beyond the industry standard intercomp tester. We've made this ourselves. We've actually used scientific grade load cells for higher accuracy. So anyone with an intercomp spring tester is not going to get the same sort of degree of accuracy that we'll get here. So let's reset this. And as you saw in the video, basically we end up with about 10 millimeters of gap left over. We'll squash this down way beyond that 10 mil, and let's see what we've got here. So we're way beyond what the bike would actually travel to, and you can see the distortion, how easily that bump rubber compresses. So we ended up with a max force there of around 180 kilos. It's descending now. It's not an accurate spring mechanism that we've got here. It's just closed cell polyurethane. And so at 180 kilos, we're being generous. Okay, now that's operating under leverage. Okay, so we have the swing arm acting under leverage, and effectively at the rear wheel, we'll see approximately 1/3 of that force due to a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage. So at 180 kilos of force, we're seeing 60 kilos of force at the rear wheel. 120 kilos of bike weight, up to 100 kilos of rider weight, G-forces from jump landings or impacts. We're easily going to compress this bump rubber. What is very, very interesting is the KYB bump rubber is significantly firmer than the WP one. So there we go. I can't be any more accurate than that. Basically, as I said, we've made a corporate decision. We do not want to have anything to do with these products. If you want to bring your bike and get it lowered by us, it will be done properly, and you'll have the safest, the most accurate outcome you can get. Okay, thank you very much.